So this bliss is purer than any opioid. It's the strongest pleasure substance that exists. It's more refined. It could be called a fullness in the chest region of pleasure. And the issue with drugs is that they have a peak point. Soma does not have a peak. It can grow stronger with each experience. How you actually connect to soma is you have to connect to the actual moon. And there's different ways of doing that. I actually spent 2 years with the moon to establish that connection permanently. And once you have this connection established, every night, depending on the phase the moon is in, you will have a different experience of soma. On nights that it's full, you will have a creative power. It is essentially a perfectly clear mind, a completely focused, very similar to flow state. It can be complementary to a flow state. The way you actually connect to the moon is, I think, something you might have to intuitively do. I'm not sure a teacher could actually tell you. But what you do is, or to explain the relationship between you and the moon, anything you look at elicits a certain feeling from you, and that feeling is in your soul. If you look at something beautiful, that is being reflected in your soul, and you're experiencing something inside of you. The moon might be your actual soul, the actual light of your soul could be said to be the feeling of the moon. If you actually pay attention to the moon, especially on a night when there are clouds passing by, especially on a night when the clouds are covering the moon. It's similar to the clouds that cover your soul. And if you look up at the night sky and you look at the moon with the clouds passing over it and wait for it to come out, and you connect to the feeling of when it finally breaks through the clouds, that pure light feeling will start to become known to you. And the more you know it, the more overpowering that feeling will be in contrast to other feelings that you have. And at a certain point, it will pretty much be your only feeling. So if you're looking directly at the moon, you want to sense the muse-like quality, M-U-S-E, muse, of the moon, and how it has that glow, because the glow is actually what you connect with. It's that glow of light of the moon that will resonate something in your soul. And the feeling of the drug you experience will be in your chest region, but it will also be in your inhale, in your actual breath, towards the back of your throat. And it will feel exactly like the glow of the moon. There's a certain radiance to it. And once you get acquainted with that feeling, what you do is you imagine that the moon is looking at you. And you say, who is the moon looking at? And you imagine that your eyes are the eyes of the moon, and that moon, those eyes, are looking down from the sky at you. Past your face, and it's looking at something, and you're asking, what is the moon looking at? And if you connect what is the moon looking at to that feeling that you've just cultivated, it will light up in you, that feeling will illuminate. And if you're lucky, you might have to do it a couple times, you'll become aware of a you that was hiding inside of you, that was tranquilly, peacefully watching and enjoying the experience, that was just gazing. This isn't the same as the watcher part of you. It's not the same as when you ask, who am I? This part of you, if it's seen, will be surprised because it never expected that anyone would see it hiding there. And it has been hiding there your entire life. Once that connection's established, the connection to soma will never break. And if you pay attention to that feeling, it will actually continue to become more known to you every year. I'd say it would get about 25% stronger. So in 2 years or 3 years, it would completely dominate your experience. But it is not an overpowering experience. It's a very light experience and full experience. It doesn't have the nature of other experiences where the more when you go to the beach and you have a wonderful day, and you really connected to the moment. You go home and you're exhausted, and why am I so tired? And I just want to take a nap. Soma is not a drug, an experience that takes from you. It actually gives you renewal the more you're exposed to it. And that's one of its qualities of being the purest drug on earth. Is that the longer you're remaining in it, you're actually gaining clarity. You're gaining rejuvenation. You're gaining something similar, maybe even better than the experience of most sleep. And if you operate creatively from that state, you'll be able to do so with focus that is on point with the flow state. But the difference between soma and the flow state is that the flow state does drain you. It does take energy from you. If you create something in soma, you're not going to be tired after it. And it also is so overpowering that it silences your thoughts. It brings a quiet to the mind. That would be similar to a state of relaxation or some inhibiting drug like alcohol, chamomile. And if I were to describe its quality, it's not unlike this piano music. It is that soft, it is a gentle presence. As you focus on it, the majority of it be in your lungs, in the actual experience of the air you're breathing in. Going back to how I believe the ancients operated, I believe that they realized that there is a time and a season for action and for rest, as well as times of the day, and that they understood when and how to create and rest and plan. It's really the rejuvenating part of that drug that is incomparable to anything you take. One of the most common drugs people take is Benadryl PM, which is very similar, but it is literally a dirty drug. It gives you a similar feeling to soma, but with a heaviness and a cloudiness in your mind. So you could gain a focus from Benadryl and a rest. You just are taking a mental hit and a hit to your cognizance. So all you do is, the next time that you happen to be sitting on a park bench or something at night, maybe you're reflecting on something and the moon happens to be out dead in front of you, you just gaze at the moon and you just get a sense for what the moon feels like, where that feeling is. You can slow down your breath and turn your entire focus to that feeling and let it. I do remember when I first connected to it. You let it unfold over you. It will envelop you. It has an enveloping quality. It will coat you the first time you connect to it, or at least in the first times you connect to it. At some point, you will feel that moonlight quality on your skin, on your body. It will be most of your physical experience. And that's it.